Hi, myself Sheikh Mohammed Siddiq. I'm from group number 71, and these are my team members Saif Ahmad and Hamad Masood. So I'll be the one who will be starting this meeting. So our topic is Introduction to IS Security Compliance, in which importance of IS security compliance and consequences of non-compliance. So if we come to the importance of IS security compliance, compliance ensures the effectiveness of IS security measures, protects sensitive data from internal and external threats, aligns employee actions with organizational security policies. And if we come to consequences of non-compliance, loss of data confidentiality and integrity, financial and reputational damages due to security breaches, increased vulnerability to cyber attacks and legal penalties. Moving on to the next slide, uh, in which research objective, developing a theory based training program in which this theory aim to create a training program grounded in instructional and behavioral theories, focus on cognitive engagement for long lasting behavioral changes. And if we come to the next point, which is validating through action research, implementing the program in a real world organization, assessing its effectiveness in improving IS security policy compliance. And moving on to the next slide, which is theories applied, in which we do have two types. One is universal constructive instructional theory. The short form of this is UCIT. Uh, in this, it provides a structured approach to developing instructional programs, focuses on tailored learning experiences and the progressive acquisition of knowledge, emphasizes diagnosis of learners' current state and delivering targeted instruction. And the second thing is elaboration likelihood model, which is also called as ELM, differentiates between central and peripheral rules of persuasion. Cognitive engagement leads to more persistent and long lasting behavioral change. Focus on motivating learners to process information deeply rather than superficially. And moving on to the next slide, which is the fifth one, uh, universal constructive instructional theory. So, which is in the short form, we can call it as UCIT. UCIT is four phases: determination of the instructional task, identify the learning objectives such as increasing compliance with IS security policies, diagnosis of learner state, assess the current knowledge, skills, and attitudes of learners regarding IS security. And the third phase is construction and delivery of instruction, in which tailor training content based on learner needs, ensuring it is relevant and engaging. And the last phase is evaluation of success, in which it measures the effectiveness of the training program by assessing improvements in compliance behavior. Moving on to the next slide, which is the sixth slide, elaboration likelihood model, which we have already gone through in the past slides, which is nothing but ELM, long lasting behavioral changes. The model focuses on two routes of persuasion: central, which is cognitive processing, and peripheral, which is superficial cues. Long lasting change is achieved through the central route, where learners actively process the content. Importance of motivation. Motivation is key to ensuring learners engage with the material at a deeper level. Personal relevance of the content enhances cognitive engagement and results in stronger compliance behavior. Moving on to the next slide, which is the seventh one, problem statement. In this, the main concern is employee non-compliance with IS security policies reduces the effectiveness of the entire security framework, in which we do have another part, which is non-compliance increases organizational risks such as data breaches and financial losses. And if we come to the second part, which is existing training program lacks theoretical grounding, which is current IS security training programs are often encoded and lack structural theory based approach. This results in a effective training that fails to create long lasting behavioral changes. So from now on, Saif will continue from the eighth slide. Thank you.
Hi guys, myself Saif Sheikh. I will be explaining the next few parts. The main issue is all about the action research methodology. In this, to validate the training program, the study employed the action research, a method that concerns the real world practice. The process illustrates a cycle of planning, implementing, and evaluating interventions. The first research cycle was all about the overview of action research. In this, it involves the interactive process of implementing changes, observing the effects, and refining their approach. And other than that, the first research is also mainly for initial theory based training program. The second cycle refined the program by introducing continuous communication process, aim at further improving employee compliance. The literate approach followed for real-time adjustment to ensure the training's effectiveness in achieving in desired outcomes. Uh, Now the second slide. It's all about the research cycle one in depth with the problem identification. In this, to address the main concern of survey and interviews during the first research, surveys and interviews were used to diagnose the key issues preventing employee compliance with IS security policies. The surveys revealed that significant portions of employees were either unaware of the security policies or lacked the skill necessary to comply. Additionally, the interviews highlighted unclear information classification rules with many employees. As we can see, they are unsure about when to apply encryption. Technical difficulties were also common, particularly from non-technical staff who struggle with using encryption tools effectively. And there is a research cycle one training program. In this there were two programs, like mainly development of training programs, and they are some are the given examples. In this, to address the issues identified, separate training programs were developed for technical and non-technical staff. For the technical team, the focus was on refining the existing skills and reinforcing the need for compliance. For non-technical shift, the training is centered around practical hands-on example. The example are like encrypting sensitive mails were designed to immediately relevant day by day tasks by giving the allowance to the employees. By using real-world scenarios, the training aimed to make security compliance both relatable and achievable. It is mainly a difference between the technical and non-technical staff. To make it clear, these examples are used. Other than that, there is a research cycle one results. There are two, like positive feedback, improved use of encryption, and increased awareness. The first research cycle tells about the positive results. Employees give favorable feedback about the training, particularly appreciating the particular examples directly applied to work. As a result of session, there was a significant improvement in the use of encryption across the organization, especially non-technical staff. Furthermore, employees displayed a high awareness for IS security issues, showing more proactive approach towards compliance. These results suggested the training program had successfully addressed several of the key issues were identified earlier. And the research cycle two, it's mainly about the communication process. In this, building on the success, the first research cycle and the second cycle focus on creating continuous. First research cycle was focused on building on the success, and second was focused on creating continuous communication and training process. In this approach ensured the IS security remained a priority long after initial training session. One of the key developments was the involvement of the CEO, who took a more active role in promoting compliance by integrating regular updates on IS security and routine company, which is main required for the organizations, maintained a focus on ensuring employees to security initiatives. And other than that, the ongoing communication helped reinforce the importance of compliance, making into for a part of company culture. The results of the results are different. Like, sorry. The result for the research cycle 2 results, it was the main building on the success of first day research for the IS security communication was seamlessly into the company's existing business practices. Other than that, the continuous training and active leadership was provided. This approach ensured the IS security remained a priority long after the initial training session. Uh, Now the next key takeaways will be considered by one of my friend. He will be explaining all the next process.
Hello, myself is Hamad Masood, and I will tell you about the key factor of research cycle 2. So there are two key factors of research cycle 2. One is theory-based training program. In this, the success of the training program is highlighted by the importance of the grounding training in established by the theory like UCIT and ELM. The structural theory based upon the approach to ensure that the training is the relevant to effective the capable of the producing the long-lasting result. And second one is the cognitive engagement. And cognitive engagement is the key of a long-lasting behavior change. Training program that actively engage the employees lead to the better retention of information, the gathering of the compliance with the IS security policies. Next slide. So the next one is the recommendation of organization. And this there are two recommendations. Number one is regular security training based on UCIT and ELM. The organization should be implement regular structure of IS security training program using the theory of like UCIT and ELM ensure that the training is tolerate and to employ need to encourage the cognitive process. And the second one is a continuous enforcement through leadership. And this actively leadership involvement is essential to promote the culture of the compliance. Leaders should be regularly enforce the importance of IS security to the sustained behavior change. Next slide. And next one is implementation for practice. The first one is implementing this similar program, and the second one is the force to motivate and real world application. So we will discuss the first one. Organization can apply the same theoretical framework UCIT for structural learning and the ELM for the cognitive engagement. Programs should be tailored to address the specific need and the challenges of the organization. In the force of motivation real-world application, it shows the training should be precise the real-world scenario that relevant to the employee day-to-day task. And the motivation by the employee shown the personal organizational benefit of the compliances to ensure the deeper cognitive engagement. Next one. Next one is the limitation of the security. Sorry, study. Number one is scope limited of to the one organization. The study was conducted in a single organization, limiting in the generalizability. The result may not fully apply to organization of the different size, industries, or a geographic location. And the next one is need for further research. In this, further research is needed to test the effectiveness of the training program, various organizational contexts. Different industries may be required the different approaches to IS security training based on the unique challenges. And the last one is conclusion. We will conclude in the two-way. First one is summary of finding, and second one is importance continuous IS security. In the summary of finding, uh, the theory is based the train program is specifically those ground is UCIT and ELM can be significant improve IS security compliance. And the continuous reinforcement partially through the leadership involvement is the key to maintain this positive change. Or in the importance of the continuous IS training, it shows the ongoing training communication are the essential to ensure the long-term compliance with the IS policies, and the organization must be maintain the constant focus on security prevent the lapse in the employee compliances. Thank you so much from my side.